Hello, everyone, and welcome to ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. A lot to talk about tonight, and actually a lot more than maybe we would hope for, because the Cowboys are involved in a sort of a scandal. We'll talk about it tonight. It was revealed, or it was reported by ESPN, that the Cowboys paid $2.4 million to settle cheerleaders' voyeurism allegations against Richard Dalrymple. We'll get into the details tonight and what, in my opinion, are the obvious next steps, and why maybe it shouldn't be that hard to know what the next steps are in this whole situation if the Cowboys are really in a good spot to respond to all of the claims laid out by ESPN's report. It is definitely a difficult topic. We'll try to approach it in the best way that we can here on ADC Sports, as always. But thank you guys for joining the show. Later on, we'll talk about what Dak Prescott had to say about maybe having more input with the Dallas Cowboys and the way that they approach team building. And finally, we'll close out the show as every Wednesday with one cool thing. What is your one cool thing of the week? That will be the final question of the show. And I am pretty excited to share mine with you guys. This is going to be like a show and tell when we were little kids at school, because I do have one cool thing to show you. And it's a Christmas gift that I received. It has to do directly with the Dallas Cowboys, and it is definitely one of the best gifts that I've ever gotten. So thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the show. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you share the show. If you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, let your friends know about ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. What is up, burner account? Saying Stephen Jones, and this is the nightly joke by burner account. Stephen Jones is so cheap, he only owns one light bulb, which he carries with him from room to room. Oh my God. What is up, Chuck? Thank you for being here. Tom says, toxic leadership culture. What is up, Gregory? What is up, Asmodeus? What is up, all of you guys? Thank you for tuning into the show. Let's start this officially. Here we go. We have difficult conversations ahead. What is up, everyone, and welcome to ADC Sports Dallas Primetime. I'm Mauricio Rodríguez, streaming with you live every Sunday through Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central here on Dallas On Demand Sports Talk Network, with a lot more content coming your way throughout the entire offseason. Make sure you check out adcsports.com/Dallas. I published an article this morning kind of building on what we discussed last night regarding Mike McCarthy going on the Rich Eisen show and responding to what Jerry Jones had to say about the head coaching role in Dallas and the fact that Dan Quinn was maybe interested in it one way or another. So I wrote some additional thoughts on an article over there. You can check it out on adcsports.com/Dallas. Meanwhile, tonight on the show, we'll talk about the scandal surrounding the Dallas Cowboys right now. For those of you who maybe were having a busy day, maybe you were caught up at work, and maybe you don't know what we are talking about, here is the quick rundown. And some of this I will read directly from ESPN's.com report about what happened. So this is something that occurred in 2015, but this is being brought to light in 2022. This is from Don Nada Jr., ESPN senior writer. And, well, the report, the main part of the report is basically this. And I will read this. This is a quote. The Dallas Cowboys paid a confidential settlement of $2.4 million after 4 members of their iconic cheerleading squad accused a senior team executive of voyeurism in their locker room as they undressed during a 2015 event at AT&T Stadium, according to documents obtained by ESPN and people with knowledge of the situation. So that is a $2.4 million to settle. The senior executive that the report is referring to is none other than Richard Dalrymple. And someone mentioned here in the chat earlier an important part of this. Tommy said on YouTube, no wonder that Richie retired. And that is true. Just about a couple of weeks ago, a bit longer than that if I'm not mistaken, the Dallas Morning News, and that is important, the fact that we found out via the Dallas Morning News, because we didn't really find out via the team. The team basically didn't say much about it, definitely didn't pay homage to Richard's decades as the senior vice president of public relations and communications of the team. No, he left Dallas without a lot of noise around this move. And it felt, and I actually, when I found out that he had moved on, I was kind of surprised. The retirement came out of nowhere. And now that we are reading this report, it seemingly didn't come out of nowhere, because ESPN in its report actually added that ESPN was reaching out to people in the organization to make interviews about this specific settlement. And weeks after that, Richard Dalrymple ended up retiring. So, not going to lie, my instant reaction, and you can read the full ESPN report on their site. I recommend doing so because I don't think that we will get into all of the details here on tonight's show. I can tell you right off the bat, I am quite disappointed. Now, this is all, like, it is not maybe confirmed. These are allegations, and I, of course, don't want to sound like, hey, this is a fact, Richard did it, because at the end of the day, these are allegations. However, I will say a few things, and I hope maybe it's not too controversial, but I will say my thoughts, because right now, what I do believe is that we have more evidence to maybe think that this indeed happened, including the settlement itself for $2.4 million, than we have evidence that tells us, we have more of that evidence that tells us that maybe this did happen, if we compare it to the evidence that we have to say that maybe this didn't happen. And we'll talk about what is next for the Cowboys to maybe change that perspective that we have right now. It is important to say that not only is Richard Dalrymple being accused via ESPN's report of voyeurism with those 4 members of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading squad, but there's also a weirder maybe portion of this report, and that is that a fan reported to ESPN that Richard actually took obscured pictures of Charlotte Jones during the 2015 NFL draft. And the fan that is claiming so is claiming that, and he's been claiming it since 2015, he's saying that that was evident during the live stream of the Dallas Cowboys War Room. So that is one portion of the report that I will say that I'm struggling with, because I don't know, it doesn't really matter how close you are to someone in a friend's perspective. I'm talking about Jerry Jones and Richard here, that if that indeed happened, that Richard stays within the organization. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I have my doubts on that, and I also have my doubts in the fact that this is more of a fan claiming that he saw that during the live stream and not really a report from a reporter. But this is actually the picture, and this is from Cowboys Nation's Twitter account. Go give them a follow. This is the post from the fan that is actually claiming this. This is the Facebook post from 2015. Randy Horton on Facebook saying, in case you haven't been made aware already, that guy, Richard Dalrymple, who was sitting in the back corner of the War Room last night on several occasions, reached over and took obscured pictures with his phone during the live stream. And Randy goes on to add that my wife and I watched in amazement. It happened when you guys stood up celebrating, when you learned that you would be able to pick the Jones kid. I believe Carolina was on the clock at the time. Go check it out. And then Cowboys Nation also added this picture. He did clarify, Cowboys Nation account did, that he is not sure when this photo is from relation to the draft. So overall, really just a difficult situation for the Dallas Cowboys right now. What are the next steps, in my opinion, to really, like, if you are the Dallas Cowboys and you are denying that this happened, that Dalrymple spied on the cheerleaders and took pictures and videos and all of that. And again, you can go read the full ESPN report. I recommend you doing so because there are a lot of details there that are important to this conversation. There is a claim by Richard Dalrymple. He is not denying that he entered the cheerleaders' locker room at the time that they were there changing clothes. He does not deny that. He claims, however, that he entered because he wanted to go to the restroom, and that maybe was the nearest restroom. And he says that as soon as he noticed, as soon as he was aware that the cheerleaders were in there, and this, by the way, happened during a luncheon for the Dallas Cowboys, as soon as he figured out that they were still there, he walked out of the cheerleaders' locker room and he didn't spy on them. That is what Richard Dalrymple claimed, and that is the Cowboys, like, apparently their official position in this conversation. The report also indicates that Richard had a key card to enter that facility, and there should be timestamps. And all that I'm saying is that the next steps to me are, show us the timestamps. Show us that Richard Dalrymple was in fact in and out of the cheerleaders' locker rooms. That shouldn't be that hard. And you also have cameras outside of the locker room that could show you that. So I think of it and I think to myself, if this is not true, it is so easy for the Cowboys to maybe let it be known that it is not true. So come out and do it. That's what I would ask. Because Gregory says, I want to see the proof, the photos or the video. Because we know that proof has to exist. Like, it has to be there. And if they don't show us it, it's because maybe they don't want us to see it. That's how I look at it. I know that there are also privacy issues maybe that people could point towards. But to me, when the allegations are this serious and the evidence is right there, the Cowboys shouldn't take long to do so. And if they don't, then I'm concerned. And then I'm already concerned. But what I mean is, if they don't in a few days, I don't know how you can defend them. And I don't know how you cannot be ashamed of what the Dallas Cowboys are going through right now if they don't come out with this evidence and say, listen, this is what actually happened. Because you've got the timestamps, you could have the cameras, you could have the 2015 live stream of the Cowboys war room to show us that when that happened, that Richard was not taking any pictures of Charlotte Jones. Hopefully they do, man. This is a frustrating situation to be in. And you guys know this better than I do. With all of the allegations surrounding, for example, the Washington football team, we didn't hesitate to criticize heavily Dan Snyder and his front office. And we should definitely be doing the same with the Dallas Cowboys if they don't come out quickly with that evidence and try to prove to us that this is not what they're making out to be. Until then, until the Cowboys walk out there and show us that evidence, I don't know that there is reason to believe that the reports are not accurate and that the settlement information is not accurate. And by the way, I think that the Cowboys never disclosed this memo, that this official warning that they sent Richard Dalrymple in 2015, but they did send it. So that exists as well. Show us that official warning. Complicated topic. I agree. Dallas Junk says Jerry is going to be question heavy the next time that he talks to the media. And he should. And I don't know what you guys think about this. I don't know if you agree or disagree with me. Let me know in the chat. This is not a prepared question, so I'm not going to post it in the comments. But do you agree or disagree that the storylines that we have seen recently have been way worse than usual? Like, what I mean by this, let me elaborate, is that we hate on this front office a lot. And you guys know it. We always talk about how Jerry Jones is an issue for the Dallas Cowboys in the way that he handles the media, in the way that sometimes Stephen Jones with the cap management stuff. The Cowboys are not aggressive in free agency. The Cowboys are good in the draft, but we always have some stuff to say about the draft as well. We always have complaints about the way that this franchise is run. But 2022, it's not 2021 anymore. This has been even tougher, I believe, to deal with. Like, I think that Jerry Jones talking the way that he has about Dan Quinn, and then Mike McCarthy having to respond, and then these allegations that are a completely different thing. But this is not normal for the Cowboys front office. And maybe it's just dawning on us that things might be even more dysfunctional than we previously thought. But I do think that what we have discussed in the last few weeks has been way worse than what we are used to, even though we are constantly criticizing the Dallas Cowboys front office. I don't know if I'm alone in that feeling. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But I do believe that this is a bad moment for the Dallas Cowboys, and it definitely has not been the same as usual. I do think that it was not the same as usual. Tommy915 says bullet into a settlement. And man, usually, or a lot of times, it happens. A lot of times when you're discussing a settlement, you're discussing what Tommy is bringing up in the chat. Stephen White is saying, was it investigated? It was investigated by the Cowboys internally. I don't know how much you can make out of that, though. I would definitely want that information to be at least let it be known to the public. The timestamps, the surveillance video outside of the cheerleaders' locker room, release maybe the 2015 live stream war room tape. All of that could help this go away if the claims are not true. Stevie Mack says Nate Newton was just talking about Rich the other day on Hanging with the Boys too. And it was so weird the way that he retired. And I don't think that it is normal that someone like Dalrymple, who spent so much time with the Dallas Cowboys organization, retires and Dallas really doesn't make a lot of noise. A Cowboys internal investigation, says burner account, bro, they can't even manage the clock. I will say that I wouldn't make too much out of whatever they are putting out of this, internal investigation. So yeah, I recommend you read the ESPN.com report so you can get more information on this. In the meantime, we will move on to the next topic because Dak Prescott talked to Jory Epstein from USA Today. Great Cowboys reporter. If you are not following her on Twitter and everywhere possible, you, sir, are doing it wrong. And you need to follow Jory. She's great. And she talked to Dak Prescott and she posed an interesting question to the Dallas Cowboys. I was going to say franchise quarterback, but I know that will come off wrong. What I meant is to the Cowboys starting quarterback, and she posed the question as to what would be different from an offseason in which Dak Prescott's contract is not really the topic of conversation, fortunately, because that has come and gone. Prescott is signed to a long-term contract, and I for one appreciate the fact that we don't have to worry about that. And then Prescott said, and this is from usatoday.com, he said, I didn't think about it until you said it, but it allows you to be fresh and be certain on everything and know, obviously, you are here. There's no questions. You can help the team make decisions. And this is where it gets interesting, because Jory adds to the question, and she asks about maybe what the level of input could be for Dak Prescott in the way the Dallas Cowboys build their roster. And Prescott answered, I think that just depends on whether they ask me. I'm not going in and knocking on doors saying, hey, I want this done, I want that done, but I'm pretty sure that my opinion will be valued in certain decisions, as I hope. So, interesting comment from Dak Prescott, I believe, talking about he's hoping that his input is valuable to the Dallas Cowboys, and he also said that he was not going to come knocking on doors and saying, I want this, I want that. The question for you guys in the chat is Dak's quote on the Cowboys valuing his input nothing or something? Do you think there's something there? Do you think there's nothing there? And I would also point out to something that Cole Patterson, ABC Sports writer, pointed out during the NFL Honors Award. And Dak said that he was picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl because they had gone all in and that they had invested a lot on the team. And Patterson, great writer for ABC Sports, he maybe speculated a little bit on there as to say, is this maybe Dak talking about how the Rams built their team for a reason or not? And maybe that was more, prone to speculation. But I do think that Dak Prescott's quote is something. And what I mean by that is I find it interesting that he's coming out to say that he's not going to be very demanding, maybe. Even though he didn't put it that way, he's not going to be the type of quarterback, from what he's saying, to ask for specific stuff with the Dallas Cowboys organization. And if you think about it, there are very few players in the league who are in a position to do so. Even the younger quarterbacks who are promising bright futures for their franchises, like Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, all of those guys maybe are not in a position yet to say, you know what, I want this free agent, and I want to do this on offense or that. And maybe few guys like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers have been in positions to do so. And then there are guys, and I remember Pat McAfee talked about this at one point on his show, like Andrew Luck, that maybe if he wanted to be in a position to ask for that kind of stuff, he could have done so. But maybe Pat McAfee has talked about the fact that Andrew Luck was not that a guy, even though sometimes he wanted him to be that guy. Do you believe that maybe Dak Prescott is going to be a calmer kind of quarterback that doesn't make a lot of demands to the front office? Maybe he's not on that level, like Tommy915 says. He's definitely not on Brady's and Manning's level, so that would kind of make sense to me. But I also think that at some point, if you're going to have the contract that you have, if you're going to be one of the top young quarterbacks in the NFL, like some of us make him out to be, I would love to see him raise his hand and ask for stuff. Now, he can do that behind closed doors, not because he told USA Today that he was not going to do that. Maybe that doesn't mean that that is necessarily the truth behind closed doors. Dak is in a position, says Dallas Young, to have lots Lots of say on offense. Is Dak gonna stop his bromance with Kellen Moore? Says burner account. I don't know about that. Stevie Mac says Dak gets angry and starts throwing Oikos Greek yogurt at the front office. Primetime Phil says, I agree. Ask for some groceries. Primetime Phil, nice to have you. I hadn't seen you in a while here in the YouTube chat. Nice to have you around. Bruce Got the Use says, I do think Dak needs to use his cloud on the field and get the ball in playmakers' hands, not beefy linemen. I will say that I would like to see more of that from Dak Prescott. I would like him to be more demanding. And I like Dak Prescott a lot. I think that he's a very good quarterback in the league, and I think he is still the future of the Cowboys and the present, of course. But I would like more of that aggressive approach when it comes to team building and maybe communicating what he wants to the front office and demanding it sometimes. I would like to see more of that. So I will say that my answer is something for Dak Prescott's comment. So, guys, before we get out of here, and I'm excited about this one. Your one cool thing of the week. I've been waiting to show you guys something since Monday. What is your one cool thing of the week? Remember, this can be anything. This can be something personal, something professional, something from your family, something, whatever you want it to be, sports related, non-sports related. What is your one cool thing of the week? And thank you, Jay Cena. Even though I cannot read your entire comment on YouTube, he is asking people to hit that like button and fire Jerry Jones. Smash the like button. Maybe you don't have the power to fire Jerry Jones if you're watching this show. But what you have the power to do is hit the like button and share the stream with your friends. So your one cool thing of the week. Ooh, Stevie Mac says, I bought Spider-Man Miles Morales. I love the Spider-Man video game, but I do not have a new console. Honestly, because I don't play that many video games anymore, so I don't want to spend that money on that. But that Miles Morales game looks like the one that would make it happen. Like that might be the game that would convince me to get the console. Moses burner account, did you get a signed Jason Garrett photo? I didn't. Asmodeo says, cool thing, college basketball, Memphis beat Houston. Stephen White, he's saying that his cool thing of the week is that he took a shower this week. Stephen, that would be more or less what I would expect from someone with 2 Cooper Rush pieces of clothing. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding with you. My one cool thing of the week is I found my old trading cards, Dallas junk. Went to the dentist, trading cards. Burner account says, went to the dentist today, had to get my teeth clean from... sometimes I just start reading comments without finishing before bringing it up, but I did fall. Mauricio, no, you didn't, to Stevie Mac. Hey, I did. I had to do that to Stephen White just because I like him. Jessica, what is up? Thank you for joining the show. Christian Rodriguez says, I love Menudo. Tim Hall, I picked my money up from a Super Bowl pool. I win $250. That is definitely one cool thing. Daytona 500 week, says Gregory. Awesome. Tommy915 is going to be a grandpa. So there you go. One cool thing. Congratulations. I saved a lot of money, says Primetime Phil, on car insurance by... That is an ad. No free ads here on Primetime. Spent Valentine's with the missus, says Bruce got the use, and the kids weren't in the way too much. Oh, Bruce, this is a family show here. Anyway, my one cool thing of the week. This also happened on Valentine's Day, by the way, but this is not a Valentine's Day gift. This is a Christmas gift that didn't get here on time, and I just received it. And this is a gift from my girlfriend, actually. Not humble brag, but this is a book that it's from the New York Times, and it is the history of the Dallas Cowboys. And the lightning is weird when I show this to you, but bear with me. It has an inscription that says, presented to Mauricio Rodríguez. I'm excited about it because it is not really a book about, the history in hindsight of the Dallas Cowboys, but these are actual New York Times newspaper clippings with a lot of Cowboys articles with the dates and everything. So for example, you can go to any year basically. You can go to 1993 and read the newspaper, the newspaper clippings from each of those dates. And I'm just so excited about it. I've been picking it up every 10 minutes to check it out. And my goal is to at least read one of those newspaper clippings each and every day. Sort of like, those books with the motivational quotes. Instead of reading motivational quotes, I will just read old New York Times Cowboys articles, and I will have a lot of fun doing so. So yeah, that was my one cool thing. I was excited about it. Burner account is saying that I could not have a girl. Oh no, I thought that he meant like my age. Which girlfriend, Mo? You got like 9, right? I don't. I have just the one burner account. That's pretty dope. Thank you guys. Thank you. I knew that you guys were going to enjoy it. The New York Times says Tommy915 making a book about the Dallas Cowboys. It's all lies, guys. Don't believe them. Mo, when you are reading the book, stop at 1996. It's all downhill from there. Hey, burner account, I actually might listen to your advice on that one. I might. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That will be it for me tonight. I'm Mauricio Rodríguez, your primetime host. I appreciate you tuning into ADC Sports Dallas Primetime as every night, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. For more Cowboys information, go check out adcsports.com/Dallas. I had an article this morning on what we discussed last night, what Mike McCarthy responded to Jerry Jones' comments on the Rich Eisen show. Make sure you check it out. I was able to maybe blow off some steam on that article because I really, released some frustration about the way that the Cowboys do things. So it might be just the kind of stuff that burner account enjoys, for example. And you guys know burner account. He's always he's always hating and dunking on the Cowboys front office. So, and I don't mean hating in a negative way because I agree with a lot of what burner account has to say. Anyways, go check it out, adcsports.com/Dallas. Let's go.